Welcome to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. I'm Allie Rose, certified clinical hypnotherapist and subconscious success coach. I help my clients stop self-sabotage and feel safe to create more wealth, worth, and wellness from within. If you find yourself stuck repeating the same unhelpful patterns in your life, health, business, or relationships, even after all the mindset work, this podcast is for you. Each week, you'll hear deep dives into the hidden beliefs shaping your life and live hypno-coaching sessions where someone shifts a block in real time. Because willpower isn't the problem, your subconscious story is. And when you shift it at the root, everything else begins to change. So let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. Today's episode is a real-time coaching session with Lucille, someone I had never met before this call. She came in with what she thought was a fear of leading, of being the one in charge, of stepping into her power without a backup plan or a safety net. But as you'll hear, what surfaced underneath was something deeper. That's the thing about subconscious work. We often think we know what's in the way until we get quiet enough to hear the part of us that's been holding us back all along. If this is your first time listening, I want to let you know that this session includes elements of hypno-coaching, which means you'll hear a shift from subconscious conversation into guided subconscious work. However, for safety reasons, I've edited out the full hypnotic induction part of the process. But I promise you, you're still getting the full heart of the session. As you listen, I want to invite you to reflect. Where in your life do you say, I'm ready, but your body still flinches at the idea of being fully seen? What stories did you inherit about leadership, power, or being the one who goes first? What if the fear you've been trying to fix was actually trying to protect you? All right, let's dive in. Lucille, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. This should be interesting.
So tell me a little bit more about this fear of being visible. What does it look like in your life right now?
All my life, I've been rather invisible due to upbringing.
Mhm.
My really conservative Mennonite background, women weren't, they weren't allowed to teach or preach or be out there. They were the followers. And now, I've been on my own for years. I was a single parent, and my kids are now grown, and I am starting a new business, and I need to have people see me.
Right.
Because you can't have a business if you don't have people.
Right. Absolutely.
But at the same time, I'm almost scared what's gonna happen when I have my first clients, because then I have to perform.
Right. Right.
And, then I'm the one in charge. There's no backup plan. There's nobody behind me, you know, calling the shots or stepping in if I can't do it well enough, or
Right. Right. Yeah.
and I've never been really in a place where I was the one in charge, or, the one leading it,
Mm-hmm.
and, there's a part of me that definitely wants to be seen, but yeah, I'm more of an introvert. It's not like I'm introvert, extrovert, not super introvert, but at the same time, if I all of a sudden have to talk and I don't know what to say, then what?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you, you had mentioned that in your current line of work, it's not an issue, but the work that you're wanting to move into, it's becoming an issue. So tell me,
Yeah.
what's your current line of work, and then what are you moving into?
I'm a housekeeper slash support worker. So I go to two different houses, and the one house I more or less run, and if they can't find things at the other house, well, then they ask me. So, in a way I am running things,
Right.
it's comfortable. I know how to do it. It's not, I don't have to think.
Right.
What I am moving into, I am becoming a mentor and a professional listener for women either contemplating a transition, like a faith transition or divorce, separation, loss of a child, empty nest
Right.
kind of transitions that we women experience
Right. Right.
life. And so, yeah, that's what I am working. I have it. It's up and going already. And
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Really important work that you're transitioning into. Not that
mhm,
the work that you're doing now isn't important. I'm certain that it's,
very boring.
well, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's very important for the people that you're doing it.
Yeah. But yes,
Right. Okay. So I feel like I'm hearing two different things, and I want to make sure that we're really clear before we go in. There's because you said like there was a part about leading, being the leader. So is it more about being seen, or is it about there's a part of you that's afraid to lead?
both.
Okay. Okay. Which one do you want to focus on for our session today?
Maybe the leading thing.
Right.
Or do you have thoughts?
I I I'm going to leave it up to you because which one do you feel is more when you think about being the leader or when you think about leading or when you think about being visible in terms of being seen in this new business or having clients see you, which one feels more activating in your body or causes you more anxiety?
Probably the leading thing because I'm not sure how to go about that.
Okay.
I think I like that part, yeah.
Okay.
That's
So part of you that has a fear of being the leader or leading, which,
leading.
okay.
Yes, because if I am leading, then that means what if I screw up? What if I think I know more than I actually do or, those kind of things.
Mm, yeah. That's kind of all on you, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
a backup person.
Right. Right. Okay. Perfect. Is there anything else that you think would be important for me to know before we go into the session?
What that I know of, no.
Okay, wonderful. Are you ready?
Mhm.
All right. So you can keep your glasses on or you can take them off, whatever you feel most comfortable with. So I'm going to ask you to just go ahead and look up as high as you possibly can, as if you were trying to look into your own eyebrows, keeping your eyes glued to a real or imagined spot overhead. Just breathe in and out. Take another deep breath. Breathe in. And each time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. And just one final time, take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. So just one more time, go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper, at least 100 times deeper. That's perfect, Lucille. You are responding perfectly, exactly as I knew you would, because I already know that you are incredibly open, receptive, and suggestible, and your mind is incredibly powerful. So now we're going to explore this part of you that has a fear of leading. I want you to just take a deep breath in and imagine that you've turned your eyes inward. You've gone inside yourself. You're still Lucille, but you're able to scan your body and find that part of you that has a fear of leading because it thinks that it might have some useful role, function, purpose, and or intention in your life. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are looking at this part of you. And whenever you feel ready, I want you to tell me, where do you carry this part of you in your body? Where does it live?
In my chest.
Okay. And I want you to just imagine that you could give this part of you a color, texture, shape, or size. What does this part of you look like?
Oh,
What's that?
a lump?
A lump. Okay. Does it have a color?
Probably gray, dark.
Mhm. Okay. And I want you to tell me, how do you feel about this part of you that has this fear of leading? What emotions come up when you think about it?
Scary or not good enough.
Yeah. So now I want you to just imagine that we're able to pull this part of you out of you. So it's sitting in front of you, however you want to imagine it. And I want you to ask this part of you, what is your role in my life? Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Has it responded?
It's kind of to protect me from the leadership in the world that I grew up in, or to protect me from, I suppose, the men in my world that were in charge.
Hmm.
Because if I was a leader, then I would be a female, a woman who was making them uncomfortable.
So if you're a leader as a woman, it makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they would, I'd get told off or told to back down.
Mm. Okay. Perfect. I want you to go ahead and again look at that part, and I want you to ask that part, what is your function in my life?
What is your function in my life?
Let it tell you.
To keep me safe.
I want you to ask it, what are you keeping me safe from?
What are you keeping me safe from? And it would be from being pushed down
Mhm.
or, told off or told to be quiet.
Mhm.
Don't ruffle the feathers so that you don't get in trouble.
Right, right. You're doing such a great job. I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in. And we're going to ask this part of you another question. I want you to go ahead and ask this part of you, what is your purpose in my life?
What is your purpose in my life? There is no purpose now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did it serve a purpose before?
Yes, it kept me safe when I was living in that situation, in
Right.
that work.
Right. All right, we're going to ask it one more question. I want you to ask that part of you. What is your only intention in my life?
What was your only intention in my life? It was about safety, about keeping me safe.
And it needs to do this because?
I'd be overpowered by the leaders, by the men in the world around me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to ask this part of you, what was going on in my life when you first came into my life?
What's going on in my life when you first came into my life? Basically, all that I can remember would be, or yeah, is that I was so emotionally shut down that I don't remember when it came into my life.
Hmm. Is it safe to say that it came into your life at a pretty early age?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you have a specific memory about being shut down by the men or the leaders? Like in your earliest memory of that?
Well, I was emotionally shut down from a very, very young age, so I just anybody, around me to be safe, to be so that I would be liked and loved.
Mhm.
And I grew up in the religious world that I grew up in, it was very male dominant. And so that was normal to me.
So, how do you feel about this now as an adult? Is this fear of leading, is it working for you right now in your life?
No.
Why is it not working?
Well, if I continue to have the fear, then I can't actually put myself out there to be seen and to guide other people, other women to
Mhm.
heal.
Mhm. Yeah. And you have a very beautiful vision of what you're going to do in the world, how you're going to support other women. And right now, this fear of leading, it's holding you back from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can see why you have this, right? Why you came up, why this part of you came up with this.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the beautiful thing, right? Because if you came up with it, it means that you can let it go. We come up with things all the time that serve us for a certain period in our life, and then we decide that that's no longer serving us and we let things go. So I want you to tell me, and I want you to tell this part of you, how are you different now than when you were a child kind of growing up in the Mennonite community? How are you different?
I'm much more emotionally aware,
Mhm.
and I am no longer a part of that community. So I can lead. There are not people telling me, there are not people, a lot of people around me telling me I can't do this
Mhm.
or that I need to be quiet and not say anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and another maybe obvious difference is you're not really relying on the people in your life. Like when you're a child, you have your parents that you're relying on. If they're a part of that, right, you kind of need to make yourself smaller in order to have safety, security, just have your basic needs met. But I'm assuming you're not relying on people in the same way anymore.
No.
Right. Right. All right. So I want you to go ahead and just envision that part again, that lump that maybe is in your chest. And I want you to ask it, what do you need from me to feel safe enough to leave?
What do you need from me to feel safe enough to leave? To know that I am safe.
Mhm. How would you practically and tangibly know that you were safe? What is there something that you can do for the part or in your life?
I think to believe that I can lead
Mhm,
because I have experience that I can share with the world
mhm.
to guide women to healing.
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to ask that part, and you don't have to repeat this out loud if you don't want to, but I just want you to ask it. Is there something I can do on a regular basis that would help you feel safe?
I think it's about believing,
Okay.
literally believing that I can be a leader
Mhm.
and that I am good enough.
Yeah. How do we reinforce that in your life? What are the action steps, or if there are any, that you need to take in order to reinforce that in your life? That belief.
Well, the God that I grew up with doesn't want women to lead or yeah, but as I need to let go of that because that is not truth.
Mhm.
That the God that did create me is cheering me on because I've been created with this ability, this gift to lead and to share my experiences with the world.
Right, right. Are you ready to let go of that old vision and version of God that doesn't want you to lead?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to ask that part if it's ready to leave.
Are you ready to leave? Yes.
All right, I want you to go ahead and repeat after me as you imagine this part. Thank you for helping me the way you did.
Thank you for helping me the way you did.
Had a very powerful impact on my life.
Had a very powerful impact on my life.
You've been keeping me safe for so many years,
You've been keeping me safe for so many years,
but now you're free to go.
but now you're free to go.
And I want to just give you, Lucille, a moment to say anything that you might need to say to that part in order to fully release it. You can say it out loud or you can say it in your mind. And if you say it in your mind, just let me know when you're done.
Thank you for keeping me safe when I needed you, but now it's time to let you go.
Anything else?
Well, that's everything.
Okay. Has the part gone?
Yes,
How do you know? Do you feel any difference in your body?
I feel lighter. Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. And now I want you to just take a deep breath in as you allow this new, lighter, clearer feeling to just settle into your body. And I want you to just call to mind an image of yourself as a little girl who was in this community, this little girl who maybe had the belief that God doesn't want her to be a leader. Just let me know when you have an image of yourself as a little girl in your mind.
Yeah.
And now I want you, as the adult that you are now, I want you to step into wherever she is, into that image in your mind. And I want you to tell her anything and everything that she needs to hear. What does she need to know from you?
You are enough and you are brilliant, and you can go out and do what you are called to do, to use your gifts, and you have gifts to use to offer the world.
Yeah. Anything else?
Everything, I think.
Okay. I want you to imagine yourself as the adult that you are now, taking that child, the smaller, younger you. I want you to hold them by their hand or pick them up into your arms. And I want you to transport them to the home and the life where you currently live now. And I just want you to take a moment and just show them around the life that you have now and tell them that they are free as an adult to be the person that they want to be.
As an adult, you are free to be the person that you want to be.
And now I want you to just picture that small child, the younger you, hovering just above your head. See them now slowly descending down, dropping down, merging into your body, merging into your heart, merging into your life now. You feel that child fully merged within you now. And they are never ever going back because the child, the little you, is now taking up residence in you as an adult. They are free now. They've had a massive upgrade into your life. The past is behind them and behind you. And you, Lucille, you are free now to be the person, the adult that you choose to be. I just want you to take a deep breath in as you allow that child to feel fully merged within you now. And now, as you are seeing this, feeling this, believing this, feeling wonderful, amazing, and free, I'm going to count you back to full awareness. With each number, you will become more aware of your surroundings, bringing this feeling back to the room. So, on the count of one, you're becoming more aware. On the count of two, you're aware of the room and the sounds around you. On the count of three and four, you're taking in a deep breath. And on the count of five, whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Hey, how are you? How was that for you?
That was excellent.
Yeah?
Mhm.
What stood out to you?
My body is less painful than when I was sat down,
Love that.
and yeah, just there's more clarity of, what I can do, what my gifts are.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. And, really what stood out to me was just what that part of you needs, right? It needs you to really solidify that belief. It needs you to really release those old beliefs about who God has created you to be, right?
Yeah.
So, I hope that you can let it be a reminder if you start to doubt, like, all right, that feeling is just that part saying, "Hey, remember I need you to believe," right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I feel really honored that you allowed me to guide you through that.
Mhm. Well, that was very interesting.
Anything else that you want to share before we close up?
I don't think so, no.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
I just want to take a moment to thank Lucille for her openness, her vulnerability, and her willingness to go there, not just for herself, but for anyone listening who might hear a piece of their own story in hers. I hope this session reminds you that the things you think disqualify you from leading are often the very things that make you a powerful, grounded, and deeply human leader. If you're sitting with a lump in your chest or a voice inside that says, I know there's more for me, but I don't feel safe going after it, you're not alone. And you don't have to navigate that alone either. If you're curious about what working together in hypnocoaching could look like for you, head to shiftyourstorypodcast.com or click the link in the show notes to learn more and book your connection call. And if this conversation moved something in you, would you share it with someone else who might need to hear it? And I want to leave you with a few questions to reflect on. What would leading your life your way look like? What stories are still living in your nervous system, even if your mind knows better? And what might become possible if that story began to shift? I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Until next time. Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of the Shift Your Story, Change Your Life podcast. If today's conversation sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to send me a message on social media. I'm at the Allie Rose on both Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to be coached on a future episode or explore what it would look like to work with me one-on-one, head over to shiftyourstorypodcast.com. And if you never want to miss an episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a rating and review. It helps more people find this work. Until next time, keep shifting, keep growing, and most importantly, I want you to remember that your story isn't set in stone. You always have the power to shift it.